Hey everybody. I've been making jelly for our family for a few years now. At first I was very intimidated by canning and making jelly and things like that, but my husband talked me into it and I found out that I actually rather enjoy it. I've had several people ask me to teach them how to do it, so I thought that this would probably be the best way. So I'm just going to walk you through the steps that I do to make strawberry jam. This doesn't have to be strawberries, you could do blueberries or blackberries or any other fruit just about. First you're going to go out to the store and buy some pectin. For jam, I like to use the liquid pectin because it seems like the fruit is more interdispersed instead of floating all up to the top. For my jellies, I usually use the powdered pectin. Inside the box of pectin, there are some instructions that will give you the amount of fruit, the amount of sugar, the amount of pectin, and the things that you need. Some jellies will call for lemon juice. In strawberry jelly, you put a little bit of butter in there just to help with the foaming near the end. So some supplies that you will need are, of course, some jars to put it in. We have a family with 9 children, so we do our strawberry jam in quart jars. You'll also need rims and lids. Most of the time when you buy them at the store, it comes with these actually. If you're reusing jars, you might have to rebuy the lids, but of course the rims you can use over and over again. You'll need some canning tongs to get your jars in and out of the hot water. You'll need a funnel, a canning funnel, and a little magnet which helps you to get the lids out of the boiling water. All of this stuff came in a little canning kit which you can get at Amazon or Walmart or somewhere. You'll need a big pot. You don't need a pressure cooker, you just need a pot big enough that you can cover your jars with water and boil them in it. Like I said, you'll be boiling your rims and it helps to make this little seal get soft so that it will adhere to your jar and make a good seal so that this will last for a long time. And then you'll need a nice big pot to cook it in. This is a masher that I'll use to mash my fruit with, some kind of masher that you can just kind of squish your foot a little bit. We like the big chunks, so I don't squish it a whole lot. You'll just cook it down and squish it. And of course your fruit and your sugar and your pectin. Okay, first we're going to take our fruit that we've cut up and put it in the pan. Then we're going to mash it up a little bit. It's easier to mash it up at this point because if you mash it up once it's got really soupy, it's harder to get a hold of those pieces. Alright, now that you've got your berries mashed to the consistency that you want them, we're going to add the sugar. You need to pay attention because with liquid pectin you add the sugar now and the pectin later, but with powdered pectin you add the pectin first and the sugar later. So just pay attention to your recipe. And we're just going to stir this all together. Yes, that's a lot of sugar, but it's really tasty. So we're just going to stir this all together and bring it to a boil. Okay, now we've got it to a rapid boil. You boil it like this for 1 minute. I also added about a half a tablespoon of butter, not a whole lot. It really does help to reduce the foaming some. And as soon as my timer goes off here, we're going to add our pectin. We're going to return it to another rapid boil. There it is. We're going to return it to another rapid boil after adding the pectin, and then we're going to skim off the foam and start putting it, for a minute. Hold it at that rapid boil for a minute. And then we're going to skim off the foam and start jarring it. So we brought that to another rapid boil after adding the pectin, and now after boiling it for a minute longer, I've removed it, well, got it as far off of the heat as I can with the space that I have. Now I'm just kind of pushing all the foam over to one side and I'm going to skim this foam off of here. There's nothing wrong with the foam. In fact, my kids love eating it. Well, I just put it in a little bowl and let them eat it. And then my hubby's pulling these jars. We put the jars in the boiling water beforehand to sanitize them and to get them warm so they don't crack when you add your boiling hot liquid into them. He's going to start handing me jars and I'm going to start filling them after I get this foam off here. Just skim it right off the top. It's hard to get every little bit of it. If you don't get all of it, that's fine. Just get as much as you can. This is the part where it's really nice to have somebody to help you. If you were trying to do all this by yourself, it would be a lot harder. So if you've got a husband or friend or kid that can help you, At this point, it makes this part go a lot more smoothly. All right. Get my ladle here. Start spooning this into the jars. I try to fill my jars to about the bottom rim. Right below the threads. So you can see he's getting the lids out of the water, putting the lid on, putting a ring around it to hold the lid in place. And once we get all these jars full, we're going to stick them back in the boiling water for 5 minutes. Since what you're putting in there is already hot, you just need about 5 minutes. And then you just take them out and they'll sit there and the seal will pop. You'll hear the little snap and you'll know that it's sealed. And I mean, I've known people that have eaten this stuff 20 years later after it's been canned. It doesn't last that long at our house. It's consumed well before that. Okay, our 5-minute timer just beat. So we're pulling that batch out of the hot water. And you just let it sit there and cool down, and you'll hear a little snap when the lid seals. And then it's ready. And you can store it for several years actually. So here's our finished product. I just wanted to mention that if you don't like the big chunks of fruit in it, you can puree your strawberries in a food processor or a blender first. I hope you and your family enjoy this tasty treat like ours does.
Thanks for watching Preserving the Old-Fashioned Way.
Please leave a like and subscribe for more videos.